Crone, a poem by Gretchen Huntley. She stood at the corner. She stood alone. She looked like an ugly, uncared-for crone. He came down the street. He passed her by. He was tall, well-dressed, a handsome guy. He smiled as he passed her, nodding his head. He didn't look at her with disgust or dread. He didn't try to ignore her or make her feel small or give her the impression she made his skin crawl. She tried to smile. Her head was reeling. She wasn't even sure what she should be feeling. It had been so long since anyone realized there was a person behind those very sad eyes. She struggled for a moment to fight back the tears that had been locked inside her for so many years, and then gave thanks for the gift that day, someone who saw her and did not turn away. He did not judge her. That's what set him apart. She would always remember the man with a heart, the man who smiled at a human being and not at the crone others were seeing.
Only Connect by Mo Bach. Watching from his folding chair, book open on his lap, transfixed, a girl in red t-shirt and red shorts, crawling on hands and knees along the sand towards the shore. Traversing a crowded beach, no one watching, only sneaking covert glances as she passes. Is this some game? No. He sees what it is. Twisted legs that drag behind her, good only for crawling. She stops her a few feet to toss her shiny black hair and look out to the water. Then, continuing, bringing to mind an animal, stealthy and alert, stalking its prey, a slow but determined journey, noticed but unacknowledged. He watches, mesmerized. Reaching the shore, twisting around to position her legs in front of her, facing the water. Suddenly, he wants to see her face. No, needs to. Leaving his book beside his chair in the sand, making his way covertly down to the water's edge, casually drifting her way, wondering if anyone is watching him. The girl in red sifts the wet sand with Buddhist concentration, seemingly oblivious to her surroundings and to him as he approaches, throbbing with intensity and something like fear, passing in front of her, feigning interest in something out on the water, a quick glance down confirming that she is unaware of him, still oblivious. Or is she? He wonders, am I discovered? Stopping, looking directly at her downturned face, seeing only a shiny black fringe until she looks up. And he sees her. A ruined face, the right eye barely visible behind the black curtain, misshapen, looking off, blindly, into space. Eons pass with no word spoken until a deep, soft voice startles him with a word that strikes him numb. Hi. Recovering, he takes a step, moving closer to an unimaginable destiny, somehow finding courage and his own voice. Hi. And so it begins, stepping forward, connecting with her good eye, a brief and stilted conversation, asking her questions, learning that she comes here with her family only on Saturdays, and many other things. Then, what's your name? Angel, she tells him, without hesitation or the slightest awareness of its incongruity. Something in him breaks. His heart. Later, when the words run dry, returning to his chair, he wonders, did I cross a line? What have I brought into the sanctuary of this loneliness by my intrusion? A touch of grace? A reprieve? Or the desolation of a brief encounter never to be repeated? A moment forever lost. He will never know. He will never see her again.
I Wish for a Better World by Edith Leishman. I wish for a better world. It seems to me ours is only filled with hurt. Our society is built on that's right, that's wrong. And the deepest thoughts are hidden in that new song. Why do we learn the most on Instagram, Facebook, Visco, on our Snapchat? This world might have humans, but it doesn't have humanity. The kindest people are left behind by those drowning in their own vanity. I'm so afraid for a world where no one helps people get cured from the sick in their minds or their bodies. The ocean is littered with garbage and plastic bags. It's horrible that sight doesn't make us want to gag. We have to pull straws out of the nose of a turtle. But it's fine, just one more hurdle. An egg went viral before it had a purpose, and that leaves me wordless. Oh, and rape, that's a thing. Did you forget, or did you remember? But make it easy, blame the victim, not the offender. People always doubt the next generation, but they can help build a stronger foundation. And the people of the future give us a standing ovation. The kids of our world built their own walkout because the leaders acted like children, and the children needed to act like leaders. And it's the leaders' walls that are making us fall. I fear for this world. It seems to me it's only filled with hurt.
No, I should just start at the beginning, but I know it's not like you to take it slow while I'm taking my time with my indecisive mind. But I see when it was just you and me, babe, love came just too easy, so natural that I opened my eyes to find that maybe the same is starting but the end. But maybe, oh maybe you're someone I want to depend. But maybe wishing for my affection. Oh, maybe when I take this love high as a mountain and teach ourselves to climb. But I guess the 365 days gonna give you the time to think of the ways it all could have been better. But then again, we birds of a feather fly so high above where we met together. Lord, he never seemed to cross your mind, Lord, but starting but the end. Well, maybe, oh, maybe you're someone I want to depend. But maybe, oh, maybe you want it. Was a friend. Tell me maybe, oh maybe I'm feeling like a fool, but maybe I said maybe I'm totally in love with you.
The Invitation by Gretchen Huntley. She wasn't the prettiest girl in the school. She actually was very shy. She wished the boys would talk to her, but if they did, she'd probably die. She watched the cheerleaders giggle and flirt in their skimpy costumes and their miniskirts. She hated the fact that she was a plain Jane, but her marks were good. She had a brain. The teachers loved her, but what did she care? School was torture and life wasn't fair. Her parents were proud of the perfect child, not like her sister who was vulgar and wild. She came home from school and went quickly upstairs, this child who answered every parent's prayers. Supper was on the table. They called out her name. They called it again, but nobody came. Dad went upstairs and opened the door. She lay unconscious there on the floor. Clutched in her hand was a letter that read, "Maybe someone will care now that I'm dead. You all were so happy that I caused you no pain. You didn't even see me as I stood in the rain. I was lonely, homely, unloved, and a joke. At school, a target to be prodded and poked. I came to a crossroad. I needed to know which road I'd take, how far I would go. If I received an invitation to the senior prom, then my life was worth something and I would live on. But last night was the night, and I waited all year. There'd been no invitation, so the time is now here. I opened the bottle of pills that I'd saved, hesitating for a moment as I tried to be brave. Just once in my life, I wanted people to see someone special as they looked at me. I wish they were looking at a pretty young girl in a beautiful dress that flared when she twirled, with blonde hair that hung loose and lipstick so bright, heading off to the prom for a wonderful night. Yes, my sister last night went to the prom in a gossamer gown of green. I watched from my window quietly, alone, and yes, unseen. This truly wasn't what I wanted to do. It's not your fault, and I always loved you. Each day I think, well, maybe today, but nothing changed, I'm sad to say. So you see, I really had no choice but to listen to my inner voice. I heard the words loud and clear, "Open the bottle, the time is now here. No invitation has come your way. Take the pills, it's your final day." Her father gathered her in his arms. Heartbroken, she didn't see her charms. If only she could have reached out before. She ended her life and closed that door. I can't bring you back, my darling child. In time and with help, you would have smiled. And downstairs on the table, beside her plate, lay an invitation to the prom that was one day late.
Have you ever felt like nobody was there? Have you ever felt forgotten in the middle of nowhere? Have you ever felt like you could disappear? Like you could fall and no one would hear? So let that lonely feeling wash away. Maybe there's a reason to believe you'll be okay. 'Cause when you don't feel strong enough to stand, you can reach out your hand. And oh, someone will come running, and I know, to take you home. Even when the dark comes crashing through, when you need a friend to carry you, when you're broken on the ground, you will be found. So let the sun come streaming in, 'cause you'll reach up and you'll rise again. If your head and look around, you will be found. 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 crashing through, when you need a friend to carry you, when you're broken on the ground, you will be found. So let the sun come streaming in, 'cause you'll reach up and you'll rise again. If you only look around, you will be found. You will be found. You will be found. You will be found.
Anger, a poem by Stephen Beardwood. Even now, as I look back, the blackness of my soul still scares me. Long have I mended from the worst of what I have done and the evil that was done to me. But still, the darkness of my losses consumes the sweetness of my healing and replaces it with bitterness. Bitterness of what was done to my children, my family, those who I loved and still love most dear. I look at the conflicts across the globe today and see only politics and corporate handiwork embedded in the artwork of turbulence spreading across the world. But still, it eludes me the reason we were there. We made decisions to allow to die what we should have tried to save, to kill what we should have cherished. And the anxiety of that weighs heavy on my heart. At times, overpowering the good I try to do, if only we can take back those decisions. But we can't. Often what's left over from all of this is anger. Anger at loss and at an inability to make it right. Anger at a world that causes pain and does nothing to heal it. Anger at people who care more about their comfort than for one another. Anger.
Noonday storm is looming, darkness, winds are blowing everywhere that you go. Storms are coming, can't use an umbrella, too much rain to keep back getting from the weather. Lightning's coming, flash floods soon wash away every right. Close the lid, lock the casket, lower flag at half-mast, all attend the funeral. And don't you all know freedom died at midnight? Rise up, unemployment overclocked, the job loss, don't forget, increased that. And don't you all know freedom's dead? Soon everyone will know our freedom died. Slow apathy replaced sense, and there wasn't a chance. Soon everyone will scream, this cannot happen. I cannot know what free men know. Crosswind tide is blowing, stand up, don't just lay down. You can make a difference, learn to survive. You are the government, vote for independence. People make the difference, stand up and learn your right. Now's the time to learn to fight. Light still comes at daybreak, learn to bury the dead, live amongst the living, and life still goes on. Folk Focus on the future, bring forth new solutions. You can make a difference. Don't forget to speak out, learn how to be free to think. Soon everyone will know our freedom can grow. It's time to use common sense. There is now a chance. Soon everyone will scream, give freedom to me. We must all show what free men know. Need more information, not just aggravation. CNN can drop dead, so can Fox News. Independent news feeds, not just corporate greed. Stop financial terrorists, prosecute the bankers. Silver Liberation Front can't see light from darkness. Learn to be a beacon. Open up your own eyes and don't be so blind. Question everything, even corporatism, politics and finance, monarchy, anarchy, freedom always has a price. Soon everyone will know our freedom can grow. It's time to use common sense. There is now a chance. Soon everyone will scream, give freedom to me. We must all show what free men know.
The Road Not Taken by Gretchen Huntley. She sat at her kitchen table. She was 76 years old, staring out the window, letting her breakfast get cold. It was time to begin, so she picked up her pen. The writing was slow. She stopped time and again. Her thoughts drifted back to a time and place. Remembering that girl put a smile on her face. It was almost as though she had stepped back in time, reliving those moments, though just in her mind, staring at the crossroad with suitcase in hand, looking forward with excitement to the promised land, where milk and honey flowed like wine. She was young and beautiful, this would be fine. She had walked for hours, she was tired and cold. Then she saw the house, it was shabby and old. It was late by then, so she knocked carefully. There was no answer, no light to see. Discouraged and sad, she turned away, and then she heard a man's voice say,
"Is there something you need or I can do? I'm making a cup of tea. Would you like one too?"
The relief was overwhelming as she stepped inside the door, and in that fateful moment her life changed forevermore. She never left that little house. She lived her whole life through. Freedom was now gone forever, and there were children too. She cooked, she cleaned, she baked, struggling to pass his every test. Though she tried with all her might, he felt 'twas not her best. He would get angry, his nostrils would flare, jumping to his feet, kicking over a chair. She did her best to stand in his way, protecting the children come what may. Often she was on the receiving end, and then he would turn and be her friend. He'd say he was sorry, please stay one more day. The children would cry, please don't go away. Her heart was heavy with the burden she carried, but she'd made her choice the day she was married. The children were gone, and now she was old, with a breakfast before her that now had grown cold. If she could do it all over and live her life once again, would she do the same thing at that final bend? I guess it doesn't matter, because you can't go back. You can't relive the past, that's an actual fact. You have to play the cards that life has handed you, and if you have a losing hand, you must play it through. She laid down her pen, the words just wouldn't flow. Unless you've walked in her shoes, you could never know how she felt and how she lived, unless you've lived the same. Trying to put it all on paper was just a wasted game. She could only pray that young people everywhere would choose the road they take with the utmost care. As for her, her journey would soon come to an end. May she find true happiness around that final bend.
I retired my red lipstick 'cause you said you didn't like it. I couldn't wear my high heel shoes 'cause I couldn't be taller than you. I didn't want to lose my friends, but now it's hard to even find them. It's what you wanted, ain't it? It's what you wanted. I thought I'd miss you and it ended. I thought it hurt me, but it didn't. I thought I'd miss you. But I miss me more. I miss my own beat to my own snare drum. I miss me more. I miss my own sheets on the bed I made. I forgot I had dreams, forgot I had wings, forgot who I was before I ever missed you. I thought I'd miss you, but I miss me more. I miss me more. I put on my old records that I hid in the back of the closet, and I turned them up to 10, and I played them all again. I found my independence, can't believe I ever lost it. It's what you wanted, ain't it? It's what you wanted. I thought I'd miss you, and it ended. I thought it hurt me, but it didn't. I thought I'd miss you. But I miss me more. I miss my own beat to my own snare drum. I miss me more. I miss my own sheets on the bed I made. I forgot I had dreams, forgot I had wings, forgot who I was before I ever kissed you. I thought I'd miss you, but I miss me more. I miss me more. I thought I'd miss you. I thought it hurt me. I wanted to kiss you. But I miss me more. I miss my own beat to my own snare drum. I miss me more. I miss my own sheets on the bed I made up. I forgot I had dreams, forgot I had wings, forgot who I was before I ever kissed you. I thought I'd miss you, but I miss me more. I miss me more. I miss me more. I miss me more.
The Eye on the Wall by Dave DeBona. Sometimes I am by the window when the moon is bright, or in the light of day I can escape here by the window. Get away from the cluster of minds, one collected roar. I am caught helpless inside a room, but for the island, the eye on the wall. The Window by Dave DeBona. To dream alone in the silence, the quiet full inside me, I stretch out my arms wide and open my hands again and again to feel each finger complete. And I know I have grown wings. So often is it so in the magical land of my dreams, where there is a unique reality, where nothing is impossible, where every thought or idea is a possibility zone, and all possibilities come true, so that with my fresh wings drawn and ready, I will fly, alone here in the quiet of my room. Summer breeze, dewdrops on leaves, soft songs bring. Childhood memories long since past. Playground fantasies, make believe, pretend. Summer breeze brings back to me childhood fond memories. Butterflies flittering fly past flowers. Memories come back to me. I smile. Kites high in the sky, clouds float through the air. Summer breeze brings back to me childhood fond memories. Mothers keep children asleep, warm wind blows. Afternoon, Sundays truly in the park. Buttercups, dandelions, and rose petals. Summer breeze brings back to me childhood fond memories. Green meadows, clover now grows, small white flowers. Skip, hop, jump, soon time for lunch has passed. Run all day where children play in the park. Summer breeze brings back to me childhood fond memories.
Saying Goodbye by Gretchen Huntley. She slips into the house so quietly, it's impossible to see her. But she is there, alone in the room, amidst the ruin, the sadness, the gloom. Her eyes adjust to the dimness there, this room so forlorn with lack of care. Struggling to find a shred of the past, to carry with her memories to last. The chair is now faded, worn and old, no longer the brilliant, vibrant gold. Curtains with their roses are now long gone. Weeds overrun the once cared for lawn. She pictures her mother sitting there with her twinkling eyes and silver hair. Daddy is standing at the window to stare, waiting to see if the deer are still there. The red roses in the curtains look so alive, you could pick them in bunches of 4 or 5. The sun is streaming through the window pane, no sign of a cloud or impending rain. She moves through the room without making a sound. Her feet never once touched to the ground. The memories are now fading. It's the here and now. It is today. She doesn't feel the warmth or the bitter cold, no longer feeling youth nor feeling old. From pain and suffering, her body's now free. A cane and wheelchair, a memory. She's a whisper in the air, the heartbeat away from leaving this earth on her final day. Stopping for just one more goodbye, and no, there's no sadness and no room to cry. She sees the clouds now as they separate, allowing her to enter where peace awaits. Her body now is silent. It's time to depart. There is no longer life, no beating heart. The room has now faded. There's nothing to see. The only thing left is a memory. Spreading her wings like a butterfly, she soars in the air as she whispers.
When it rains, it pours, but you didn't even notice. It ain't raining anymore. It's hard to breathe with all you know is the struggle of staying above the rising waterline. Well, the sky's finally open, the rain and wind stop blowing, but you're stuck out in the same old storm again. You hold tight to your umbrella, but darling, I'm just trying to tell you that there's always been a rainbow hanging over your head. If you could see what I see, you'd be blinded by the colors, yellow, red, and orange and green, and at least a million others. So tie up your boat, take off your coat, and take a look around. 'Cause the sky's finally opened, the rain and wind stop blowing, but you're stuck out in the same old storm again. You hold tight to your umbrella, but darling, I'm just trying to tell you that there's always been a rainbow hanging over your head. boat, take off your coat, and take a look around. Everything's all right now. As the skies finally opened, the rain and wind stopped blowing, but you're stuck out in the same old storm again. Let go of your umbrella, 'cause darling, I'm just trying to tell you that there's always been a rainbow hanging over